This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Intech Dusk travel trailer. Okay, so this is going to be a how-to video basically. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So to start off with, you can see we have a quick connect here for the LP system. Oops, sorry about the camera work. The reason that's there is this is a griddle. The top for the griddle's in the other compartment. It fits right on here. But the thing to keep in mind is it has to be plugged in. So back here you're going to have the male end of this quick connect, and then it will plug right into this female side of the quick connect. So that's how you get LP to the system. Also, you have this cooler that runs on 12 volt DC. You can take it off and move it. It's just like in a sense, a portable refrigerator. Okay. I mentioned the griddle top. Here it is right here. This is the front screen here. For the front window, you have a crank for your awning. This is your power cord, 30 amp, 30 foot, and of course your 3/4 inch crank and some miscellaneous stuff. Okay. I don't know why he unplugged the power. I could still show you off battery, but nevertheless. Okay, so to get to the LP tanks, you just pull these pins out, remove this cover right there, and you have two 20-pound tanks there, and they're both full. Now, this is your power tongue jack. Okay, it has a docking light plus up and down, obviously. If this ever fails for any reason, you can pull this rubber plug right off the top here, and you can use your 3/4 inch crank that's inside your compartment. You can actually crank it manually if you need to, so you can always get yourself out of trouble by cranking it manually. You can also use your drill with a 3/4 inch socket, for example, if you wanted to. This is a vent for the battery. The battery is stored under the seat, and this is where it vents right here. This is a quick connect for a solar battery charger. You can get a little kit. It sort of folds up like a briefcase, and you would plug it right into here, and it'll charge your battery for you. Okay, this is just the vent for your furnace. This is where your dump hose is stored. Of course, your dump valve and hookup for your hose. This is where your cord would be plugged in. This is city water hookup right here, so you just hook up your city water, turn it on, and all your plumbing works. Now if you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here, and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. So all the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping it out of the tank. I'll show you where the switch for that is inside. So if you have city water, you don't have to worry about the pump or the tank. But if you need to use it, it's right there. Okay. This is just cable satellite through. This particular trailer has on-demand hot water. So this is your water heater right here. The thing to remember is this is a on and off switch for the system. It's on right now. You can shut it off like that, right? If for any reason it's not working, always come out here and look and make sure that it's in the on position, that somebody didn't accidentally shut it off or something like that. So just keep in mind that that's there. Okay. It's pre-wired for a backup camera. And any place you see caulk from the factory, you need to inspect every 90 days or so. That includes the roof. Any place you see caulk from the factory, make sure you check it out. Make sure there's no cracking or separation. Always look at the roof, make sure there's no damage to any of the roofing attachments that could be caused by, or the roof itself that could be caused by low branches, for example, anything like that. Alright, let me back this back in. It's misting a bit here. I don't want it to get wet. Of course, your awning, it's a power awning. You do have a crank for it that I showed you, but it's a power awning. Okay. These are your keys right here. Your lights are all right here. Very modern trailer, obviously. Your awning, I'll just show you basically. Here's right here, your power awning. Like I said, there's a crank you could use for that also. Your battery is stored under here. You remove these cushions, and underneath this one right here, you can see there's a panel that removes there. You can pull that off, and that's where your battery compartment's at. It has a brand new battery in it right now. You have a kill switch for your battery right here, so you can shut it off if you want. This is just a charging port, of course. This is your power converter here. So this converts AC to DC power. So you start off with 120 AC right here. You can see you have your circuit breakers right here like you'd have at home. So when you're plugged into shore power, you have 120 AC there. Then the AC power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. So you can see you got regular 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled. Everything's labeled. So that it converts the AC to DC. So that's where your DC power comes from. This is also a battery tender. So as long as you're plugged in to shore power, it'll send so much energy your battery needs, and it'll send as many amps necessary to keep it charged. So it's a battery charger. Of course, your tow vehicle will charge the battery when you're pulling it down the road. So keep that in mind. This is your power converter. Your microwave works like any other microwave. Sound, it's like it has AM FM radio, Bluetooth. You have a USB drive. You have HDMI. I mentioned Bluetooth. You have Zone A and Zone B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside the trailer. So it has everything you need. This is your on-demand water heater right here. So you can see it's set to, right now it's set to 120, which is pretty typical, and it's set to Fahrenheit. So right now, if I turn on any hot water, it's going to automatically light. It'll light it. You'll see a picture of the flame will appear, and you'll see the temperature start to go up till it hits 120 in this case. You can change it using these buttons. You can bring it down to 115 or wherever you want. The thing to remember is that if there's not a water supply, let's say you're not hooked up to city water, or if you don't have city water, if you do not have water in your fresh water tank and your water pump is not in the on position, it won't work. It will not light. It's just a safety device, obviously. You don't want the flame lighting without any water available. So keep in mind it has to have a water source. Right now the water pump is on. We just talked about that a few minutes ago. This is used to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. It's also used to winterize the trailer. You have tank heaters, a line heater right here. So you can extend your camping season by turning those on, and your fresh water and your storage tanks will not freeze as quickly. Like I said, it extends your season. You can go out later in the winter and go out earlier in the spring or early winter. You have your battery, right? You have your black tank, gray tank, fresh water. Okay. Your refrigerator, it's basically it's got a little freezer there, and then of course your refrigerator works on 12 volt DC. That's your furnace, but the thermostat for your furnace and for your air conditioner is over here. So basically you're just going to hit the mode button till you get to the mode you want. It's off, so I'm going to turn the knob cool. That's air conditioning, heat, and off. Also, you're going to select the fan All right, that's good. We're going to shut it off because we're not going to run it. With the air conditioner, they'll give you options of high and low auto. When you're using the air conditioner, always use the fan on auto. Whether it's high or low, you pick out which one you want, but it's best to run it on auto, okay? This is for your vent here. You see the lid goes up automatically, as you can see. That's all done from here. You also have 4 speeds. It really kicks, so it'll really pull the heat out of here. Now underneath here is there's the panel that removes here, just like the one I showed you for the battery. Underneath there you'll have your fresh water tank, your water pump, all your valves for winterizing and that sort of thing. It's all taken care of down here, so that's where all your water and the back end of your on-demand water heater, your water pump, and the water tank are all accessible right there. And of course you see the lights and everything around. I don't have to point everything out, but you have lights and you have charging ports. Very nice trailer. Okay. TV, which is on a bracket, so you can swing it up forward and move it around. Just make sure you lock it into place when you're traveling. You can release it by pulling this down, but like I said, lock it in place while you're traveling. Clock and your speakers. Let's see what else we have here. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. If it's not green, get it serviced immediately. It'll detect carbon monoxide buildup, LP gas leak. It's obviously very important, so if it's not green, get it serviced. You also have a second. This one is fire plus carbon monoxide. So we actually have 2 carbon monoxide detectors, which is good. Most of this is self-explanatory. This is just an inventory list telling you where the stuff is stored, your extra stuff. This, remember, you want to push it in. So you go to light, depress it, and light it right there. I don't know if you can see the flame that well from where we're at, but nevertheless, it's very simple. You have to hold it when you're lighting. You have to hold this down for a few seconds to heat up the thermocouple enough to keep the burner going. So keep that in mind. Do it again, like so. Okay. Alrighty. Always travel with this shut. You don't want it bouncing around; it'll break. When it comes to your bathroom, your shower, again, it's the same. When it comes to your on-demand water, you'll turn on the hot water faucet, and it'll automatically light and start giving you hot water. The toilet works like any other RV toilet in that it sits right over a black tank. It's got a flush pedal right here. So when you get to the campground, you're going to put a dose of chemical right in the bowl, and then you'll step on the pedal and hold it down until you put at least a gallon of water into the black tank along with the chemical. You can use more than a gallon, but don't use less. If you don't use water and chemical, let's consider using it dry. If you do that, it'll get clogged up, it'll smell terrible, it'll just be a mess. So you always want to when you start your camping and you have an empty black tank, you always want to start off by putting a dose of chemical right in the bowl and at least a gallon of water. Okay? That's important. And then you have, of course, another vent up here. And your light switch over here. Okay. So there's some more storage underneath here also. Let me just look around here, make sure I didn't. You have reading lights, of course. You have shades all the way around. I showed you briefly that the cover that clips or snaps over the front window for when you're traveling. Okay. So you have that also. The rest you can just explore on your own. Obviously, there's a lot of different lights, a lot of accent lights, that sort of thing. Your drawers are all self-closing. Closing. There we go. Self-closing. This is all your literature here. This is your microwave tray And this is a sink thing to dry your dishes on. You have your TV remote here, and then you have your sound remote here. This is just a little reducer, reduce your 30 amp power cord down to a 20 in case you have to plug it in at home, for example. And like I said, it's self-closing. To remove these, just look underneath. You'll see it's very simple. When you look at it, you can just unclip it and they come right off if you have to remove them for anything. Okay. Alright, so I think that covers it. Let me look around a bit here. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the sealant. Any place you see caulk from the factory, you want to make sure it's still in good shape. If you ever have to replace it, or cover it up, I should say, you're going to use, don't get caulk from the hardware store. Go to an RV place and get something called ProFlex. This uses white ProFlex, I imagine, so just get the correct caulk for it. Always check the roof to make sure there's no damage to it caused by low branches or road debris or anything like that. Right now this is in camping mode in that the antifreeze has been purged from the system and it's replaced with fresh water. So you're all set for the summer, what's left of the summer, and you'll have to winterize it before it freezes, of course. Okay, so make sure that after you look at it and look at the video and look through your trailer, you can ask questions, and we can answer all your questions and make sure you understand everything before you leave. Okay, thank you.